All right, guys. Third item adjustment exercise. This is going to be the most tedious. This is what's going to want to make you want to pull your hair out, and that's good. I mean, don't literally pull your hair out, but this should challenge you. This is supposed to be you building on knowledge. So the fact that you've gotten through the first two exercises and that you're here should tell you that you're kind of good at this so far. And I'm just throwing harder and harder stuff at you. So we're going to open our Daisy, same procedures as before. All right. Again, we've got all this space. Let's use it, zoom in. Now, with this one, like I said, it's going to be tedious. Our goal for this exercise, if you look in your booklet, is you can see there are different colored petals of this daisy on the right-hand side. Your goal is to select each individual daisy one at a time and paint them just like we did with the baby girl, except for, as you can see, there's a lot of petals here. There's not just a single blanket. So your task is going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to change a couple of things, though, to make your life a little bit easier with this one. First thing, though, we're going to unlock it. All right. With this exercise, by all means, you can use the quick selection tool. You can use the magic wand tool. The quick selection tool, you're definitely going to want to make sure you use a small brush. You can see how many daisy petals were selected there. So you're going to want to use a small brush if you use the quick selection, and I mean a small brush. See how fast that got out of control there. So you might get lucky. You might be able to get something started as far as the selection goes. But you can see it's going out of control pretty fast. So the quick selection is probably not going to be your best bet. You might want the magic wand tool. With the magic wand tool, again, I wouldn't set it really above 15. All right, you can see what's happening here. Everything is going pretty quickly. So this would be a good excuse me. This would be a good example of where we want to use the lasso tool. Okay. What the lasso tool lets you do is it actually kind of lets you draw a selection. Actually, we're gonna use the magnetic lasso, not the regular. The lasso is a totally freehand tool that lets you draw. You can draw out selections. It's really good for doing like a rough selection. Like if I just wanted to get like this daisy here in the middle, and I didn't really care about any of this stuff in here, but like at the same time I didn't care if it was there, it wasn't there. I could use the lasso selection. But the magnetic lasso is actually pretty cool because it's smart. And just like the magic wand or the quick selection might do, it's going to look for differences in things. So if you take your time and you move real slow, you can kind of see how this tool is forming around this petal. Okay, come on. There we go. All right. Now with this tool, it's just like the pen tool. If you want to complete a selection, you have to make sure you go all the way around and that you reconnect to where you started. If you don't do it, well, you're just going to keep drawing a line forever, forever, never, 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 never. All right. So make sure that you end it. Now, again, this might not be perfect. You still might have to go in and do a little itty bitty bit of selecting, but it's way better, way, way, way better than having to go through and I don't know, select a single pixel at a time with the magic wand or something like that. Okay. So again, do your best. Try to clean these up. As far as the petals go, I would rather make sure that you go maybe a little bit too far over the petal than under. I'd rather see your colors butt up against one another than having weird little lines of white still exist. So if you end up going into the shadow a little bit, you know, not the end of the world. My tolerance might be a little bit too high. So I switch back down to 3. I have to be in subtraction mode. All right. So do your best. Try to really get in there, define these lines. The reason this is so difficult with the magic wand is we're dealing with white here, and essentially we're dealing with multiple shades of white. So it might come down to it that you're only on a tolerance of 2. to get some of these things. I expect this to take time. It's okay. Don't get frustrated. That is what you're trying to do for this project, okay? And again, it's easier to have this right from the start rather than trying to go back and repaint it afterwards. So if you have to go back and forth and kind of futz with this to get your pixels right where you want it to be, do it at the beginning. Take your time. It's better than having to go and redo the entire flower. Okay? So you can see the time that I'm taking, and I want to make sure that I get up into the center where the pollen is as well. Clean that up. Now, whenever I've got that ready, we want to paint all the different petals different colors. So I'm going to switch over to the brush. Now, what we're going to do differently on this one, I guess I don't need a brush that big. What we're going to do differently on this instead of the other one is I had you make a new layer. This time I'm not going to make you do a new layer. You have the option to make a new layer and do opacity, but if we did a new layer for every single petal that we had on here, our layer, I mean, we would have an insane amount of layers over here. So, don't worry about the layers. You have an opacity filter right here. Let's switch that down to, say, 25 is probably pretty good. And again, only the area that's inside of these marching ants is going to be selected. You can see I've got a nice light blue petal there. Okay, Control or Command D for deselect. Again, deselecting is right here as well. Control D, you can see on my PC at home. If you can't do the keyboard commands, you can deselect up there. All right, so I got one petal done. I'm going to leave you guys to do the other petals. It's just going to get easier as you get the petals done. If you work right next to a petal that you were just on, it's going to have an easier time of recognize the difference between the colored petal and the white petal. So I kind of suggest that you work on petals that maybe have a shadow, or you can see slightly different colors on first, or maybe these background ones, and it'll make your life a lot easier. This section up here is probably going to be the worst. So do your best. You're going to, I mean, this is pretty much the same color here, so you're going to have to make up where that line is. All right. But we've done it in the past. I know you can do it too. Do your best. Let me know if you have any problems. Again, when you are all finished with this image, don't forget, get your name on there. I don't know what this font is. I don't like it. You know, you can pick your font. Before you actually type your font, if you want to change the color or something like that, change it. You can see the color up here. All right, there's your color selector. You should recognize this from Illustrator. It's pretty much the same thing there. And go ahead. Oh, you jerk! It kept the same font. There we go. Okay, there we go. You can see my name's on there. Got my flower. All right, I'm gonna count on you guys to be able to do the rest of the petals. But it's pretty much the same idea. It's more practice with selecting things. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Print it out whenever you're done.